speaking of Michigan Wolverines, there's a number in this 2023 NFL draft, as there is every year.
AJ, what did you call them?
Michigan Wolverines?
Oh, okay, I thought it was just the accent. I thought you said something else.
Listen, AJ has problems pronouncing any name out there. He means well.
That's right. That's why I come up with just short names for everyone.
The MWs?
Go blue, go blue.
So
you know, Chris
ahead,
and Chris and I are Wolverine guys, so we're very excited to see what you're going to tell us here.
No,
we're always wondering. We need to know. Like, we've talked about some of these guys, Chris, and I'm like, fuck, I really wish we had Chris here now to tell us if these guys are worth it. Because we've debated a couple of these guys, and I want to hear from you who, like, each guy. I would love to hear if he's a first-round grade or what grade you think he is, because it'll help us out in our drafting.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'm not sure if you can see the screen well, but
I can.
I mean, you might have this memorized. But basically, we got the 43rd rank, top rank for the Wolverines this year is Mazi Smith, defensive lineman. I believe we've drafted him in one of our mocks.
It's Mazi. Okay. Mazi, this is my opinion on Mazi. Mazi tests well, okay? But with me watching every game of Michigan and everything, he didn't pop off the screen. Now, he was a solid player at Michigan. He's a good run stopper, okay? You don't expect Mazi to get to the passer, okay? He's definitely, if you're looking for a one technique, a two technique, Mazi is your man, okay? But he's not going to pop off the screen. So if people are looking for pop, you're not going to get it from Mazi, okay? But he is a good player. I got him a second round grade. I wouldn't take Mazi in the first.
I like to hear that because there was a lot of dudes that do this for a living that were mocking him first round of the Cowboys, and we actually looked at him, and he's the cat that he didn't have a sack last year, right?
No,
he didn't even have a single sack last year. I don't know if I like that.
Well, we almost picked him because he was his size. AJ loves the big boys, and then he was a Michigan. He was a Michigan boy, but the no sacker kind of threw us off. It got vetoed.
The no sacks. I mean, in college, you're as a defensive tackle who is gonna go in the first or second round, I feel like you should have at least had 2 to 5 sacks at least,
or 100 hurries.
So it made me a little nervous. I'm glad you're saying second round because I've kind of he's kind of polarizing in the Cowboys community right now. Some people love him and want him at 26, and other people are saying you're crazy if you take him at 26.
You know, I actually like, I can't even think of his name, the defensive tackle from Baylor better. If you're looking for a run stopper than Mazi, you know, and I've seen every snap Mazi played, you know. And don't get me wrong, I love the kid, but I don't think he's not a first round. He's second round, possibly early third, but he won't last to 3.
And that's what we love because this is why we wanted to go through these guys, because you're diehard. You've literally watched every single snap of this guy. So I'll take your scouting report over anything else I read when it comes to Michigan guys.
Right.
Well, the thing I'll keep harping on here is just that 26 pick is so awkward that I feel the Cowboys you kind of don't have really much pull in a trade with that pick because you're probably trying to move up most of the time.
Try to say the name, please. Try to say the name of the Baylor guy.
That's Siaki Ika.
Yeah. Okay. That's the guy that you're talking about from Baylor.
Yeah, I think so. No, Adam derailed me here.
Sorry. I thought that's what you were going for.
It's okay. That's how we do. Just the Cowboys being at 26, I just find that sometimes if say Mazi Smith happened to be the best player for what their need was, but he was still a high second rounder, you might find that the Cowboys are going to be having to make that move more often than you'd like and reach a little bit if they can't find a way to get around that.
My only concern is I don't like defensive tackle now that we got Hankins at 26. Once Hankins was short up, I don't like defensive interior at 26.
Rank 59 here, we have DJ Turner, cornerback.
DJ Turner.
That's right. He ran a 4.26, baby.
Yeah, the
speedster.
Dude,
that also gets my rocks hard.
When he ran that, I jumped off the couch.
Dude. Wow.
I'm screaming "Go Blue" all up and down. And my wife was like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Man, DJ ran a 4.2."
That's huge.
Now let's talk about DJ real quick. Okay, DJ is fast. He can cover. DJ don't make interceptions. That was my only thing with DJ. You know, a fast guy could cover. You know, he could come up and make plays. You know, he's good in run support and everything. But DJ didn't have a lot of interceptions, okay? Especially when he played against TCU. I thought he was going to have a couple picks, and he didn't come away with them. But he's a good kid. He's better than Anthony Brown, yep. You know. But you know, you can't teach speed, you know. And if you got like the Cowboys, our whole secondary is blazing fast, okay? So if you want to add speed to the secondary, I'm thinking DJ late second, early third. But that speed, man, just because people be hypnotized for it, he may go in the late first round. You never know because of that speed.
That 4.2
it be calling you.
Yeah, it's like, well, you got to think in draft or in combine history, how many guys have ran 4.2? Yes. Very, very select few. So, I mean, like you said, you can teach other things running a 4.2 40. That's there's only a certain amount of guys, and most of them have had very successful NFL careers. So
that's right.
I'd say he's probably a decent pick at some point.
EJ Savage is giving a fun fact about DJ Turner. His real name is Juan Drago. That alone makes him a fan favorite.
Juan Drago Turner.
That is a good name.
Why is it DJ then?
I don't know.
Reversed. I think that's that's intriguing. That 4.2. I agree though. That's going to make him really move up the draft board because a good coach is going to look at that player like you mentioned, Anth, and say, I can teach this guy how to play football. You give me that type of ability, I mean, I'll turn that into something special.
You can put that 4.2 guy in the slot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
For the little fast receivers, because they're not going to run away from him. You know, they're not. That 4.2, it shows up on the field. You know.
They beat you. They might beat you on a break, and you're catching up instantly, basically. Because what's his acceleration like, Chris? Obviously, it's good if he's running a 4.2. Yeah. But he obviously has catch-up speed.
Yes.
He must.
Yes, he's never, you know, against Ohio State, I was worried because, you know, they got Jigba and all the other cats, you know, that's running 4.2s also. And he never got beat deep against, you know, against Ohio State. To me, I judge every Michigan player on how they did against Ohio State because every last one of those players are going to the NFL. Okay. Yeah. So he never got beat deep against them, against Jigba and all those other guys from Ohio State. So his speed is legit. Okay. The only caveat that I have against DJ, he don't catch a lot of interceptions. He don't have a
lot. How often do they play? Michigan play Ohio State, did you say, or Oregon?
Every year, the first game after Thanksgiving, bro.
Just once a year.
Yeah. In college, you only play each other once.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Next guy actually shows up, and I think we drafted him as well. I wonder. At 108 here, Luke Schoonmaker, tight end. Does this guy have the most potential to actually end up on the Cowboys?
I think so, because he's a prototypical Cowboy tight end. 6'5", 6'6", athletic, you know, got good hands, and he is a great blocker. Great blocker. I love Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker got hurt toward the end of the season, but he is prototypical Cowboy. I think he'll be good in the room. I think he is a early third, okay? Love Luke. Luke is awesome. I love him. He had a great career at Michigan.
So, Chris, you're saying if Schoonmaker's still there at 90, and we haven't taken tight end, obviously, he's a no-brainer?
I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, because Vandershot and Ferguson, he's basically the same player. Okay.
Home zone, baby.
Remember, we were upset with Jarwin just because he couldn't block anybody, okay, and Schultz because he couldn't block anybody. With Michigan, they ran the ball 60% of the time, okay. So their tight end, they always run 3 tight end set all the time.
Wow.
So he was their number 1 tight end, okay. So you know you got to be able to block. Up in Michigan, especially when they run the ball so much. So he's a good runner blocker, but he got great hands. got great hands, good speed for his size. So, and he's a no-brainer for me. If he's there at 3, I got it. Take him.
I feel like we're taking a Michigan Wolverine in this mock draft. I almost feel like it has. I feel like it has to happen. I think the only Wolverine. I think we've only drafted the 3 Wolverines we've drafted have been Mazzy. What's the wide receiver? Is he? I can't see the screen. What's that wide receiver? The 6'5" dude. The prototypical.
Oh, the guy that we're.
That me and you were talking about.
I
AJ.
think he's Wake Forest.
Or for some reason I thought he was.
Or not.
He's not blue.
Okay, so the only Wolverines we've taken are Smith and then Jake Moody.
Oh yeah, we took Jake Moody
in the 5th round.
In the 5th round, baby. Yeah.
Just as like a joke because of his mustache.
And guess what?
Hey,
that mustache.
He didn't miss a kick at Michigan.
Right down. Bring him up. Bring up our
hey,
boy
we
Jake
like
Moody.
that.
Dude,
oh,
he
this
didn't
is
miss a kick. He I think he won the award this year for best kicker in the country. Okay. I remember him missed a kick, and it was at the end of the half, and it was like almost a 60-yarder. And dude, he didn't miss it short. He missed it wide. Okay. So he was one of the most accurate kickers in college football last year. And then when he grew his mustache, it was great.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's a can fan pick right there.
When we draft Jake Moody, that will be the jersey I buy.
Let's get Moody, baby.
Let's get Moody.
Jake Moody looks like an emotionally defeated French waiter at this super high-class hotel. Just been had like shit on all his life, but he gets paid good enough, so he
You don't understand it. I like the creme brulee.
Bro, when y'all were talking about Jake Moody on one of y'all mock draft, dude, I was like, take him. I'm screaming at the computer.
Honestly, a solid kicker, 7th round
is not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
we don't have a kicker.
We don't have.
That's where they go, 6th and 7th round. Yeah, Jake is that's a good pick.
He looks like he's staring at you after you're paying for your $500 caviar dinner, and you didn't tip him. That's what he looks like. No tip.
Yeah.
Bill.
On number 127. Oh Lord, here we go. Olusegun Uluwatimi, center. How was it?
Chris, give us the actual pronunciation
because I can't talk.
Judging by your reaction, AJ butchered it.
It was great, AJ. That was the greatest pronunciation ever.
It was a good attempt.
Hey, one thing about the kid, he transferred from Michigan State and actually became an All-American at Michigan at center. Okay, he instantly started, and instantly the offensive line improved. Okay, he's a good kid, a great blocker. He was a good leader. He was a 5th-year senior because he had that 5th year for the COVID thing. Great center. Okay, I've been seeing mock stat, man. He was going in the high 2nd round because when I was doing my mock, I was thinking, okay, I can get Ola in the 3rd. No, he was going 2nd round. Consistency.
Wow.
In my mocks that I was doing. Y'all do y'all's off of PFF. And on PFF, I mean, he was going in the 2nd round. Every mock I did like 20 of them. So he was gone.
Does he have guard potential, or is he pure center?
He's best at center. I would leave him at center because he's dominant at center. I think a lot of times I played center in high school, and when they moved me to guard and tackle, I sucked. But at center, it's a special person to play. You got to be nasty in there. And he's a nasty kid. You know, I love nasty offensive linemen, so he's one of those.
I can't wait. I can't wait for next Thanksgiving when we come out and we line you up at center and have AJ try to come and break the line on you.
Yeah.
And you just boom.
We gotta do that.
I would not do that to AJ. I would not. He is my buddy.
Hey, Chris, he ain't gonna show remorse on you. He's gonna swim move you. You don't want to get swim moved by AJ, so you gotta come nasty.
This lake too deep to swim.
That's all right, Chris. Chris, I can't run anymore, so I'll just be speed walking at you.
Hey, AJ, I never could run, so we're in the same boat.
We'll be perfect then. So actually, this next guy, 131, Mike Morris, linebacker. We've noticed a lot. Pass.
Oh, pass. Let's not even talk.
What's the reason? He's 6'5", 275, big boy.
AJ loves
That's
his
all
size.
he is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me do this.
Let's
okay.
get the dirt on this guy.
Yeah, I want to hear the dirt now.
They got him at linebacker, but he actually played defensive end. Okay. And when you had what's my man that plays for the Lions now? Hutchinson. Okay.
Yep.
When you had Hutchinson and Mike sat on the bench his whole junior year, and then he finally get on the field, and I think he may have had 5 sacks the whole year. He wasn't that impact player. They got him listed at linebacker, but he's a defensive end. Okay. He's a defensive end. Of course, I loved him at Michigan, but 4th, 5th, maybe.
Yeah.
He looks too plain Jane for me. I don't like him.
Yeah.
To me, Mike will he's better at a defensive tackle, a smaller defensive tackle. I think he'll have more success, but not out on the end. The edge rushers got to have explosive speed to turn that corner. To me, he didn't have it.
Okay.
The thing that stands out to me, at least, and of course it's very obvious, is his size, because I find that a lot of linebackers ahead of him, at least the ones that are available for the Cowboys, are all pretty small guys, 6'1", 6'2", 230. So just obviously, maybe that doesn't mean as much as I think it is, and I might need to change my perspective on linebacker, the modern day linebacker.
Well, think about it like this, okay? What do we wish D-Law could do more is get to the quarterback, right? But D-Law is our best run stopper on the offensive line, right? So if you drafting a defensive end to be a run stopper, you can get him in the later rounds. Most defensive ends and linebackers, if that can get to the quarterback, go early. So that's my whole thing. He's a big kid, but that he's lacking explosiveness to get to the quarterback.
Where's he falling? Where's he going, you think? What round?
4th, 5th.
I mean,
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. You got, maybe a
that's
guy in the 5th.
That's where we've kind of been drafting our linebackers, though, in at least our mocks.
But Chris is saying that he's not going to be your, so we've always went size. What we've been trying to, and this is our limited knowledge on the draft, but what we've been trying to, when we've been going linebackers, Chris, we've been trying to target the guys that could kind of take over for LVE. So we see this guy and we see his size and we're thinking, oh, he's got to be a middle linebacker.
No,
but you're basically saying he's a defensive end.
He's a defensive end because the Wolverines ran a 3-4. So
he had
his hand down a lot.
So he's like a Ware. He's like a DeMarcus Ware kind of.
No, Ware could turn the corner.
Sorry, just position wise. Position wise.
Don't compare him to Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware.
Well, it's like you tell people that DeMarcus Ware was a linebacker, and they go, linebacker?
I got a perfect example. I got a perfect example of who he is, okay? DeMarcus Spears. That's who he is, okay?
I mean, if you could get Spears in the 5th, I would take another Spears in the 5th.
Because, Spears was the run-stopping defensive end, okay? He wasn't getting to the quarterback. He is Spears.
Which, I mean, we kind of do need to, I mean, although when we look at our defensive average points from the last 2 years, 21 and 20 is like our average. You're like, oh, the defense is fine. What do you need? But I mean, obviously, we could put a little bit of work in our run game, like a run stopping game. So that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, there was a couple leaky holes there. At 159, Ryan Hayes OT, just about 300 pounds at 298, 6'6". What about Ryan Hayes?
Ryan had a good season, man. Big kid, man.
Good size. Let's see his full res image.
He has good hand placement. He got good footwork, everything like that. That you want that for an offensive tackle. Unfortunately, he really only started that 1 year that I could say, okay, Ryan, I see him. You know what I mean? I see you, Ryan. But he was a part of that Michigan line that won best offensive line of the in the country in college football. He was a part of that. So any Michigan offensive lineman, any Wisconsin offensive lineman, any Minnesota offensive lineman, take them. because you think about the great Taylor Lewan and everything. He just retired, from Michigan. They're nasty, man. I told you I love nasty offensive linemen. So he got that mean streak in him. And then where Mike McCarthy is trying to run the ball more, that's the man right there.
He kind of looks like the guy when you go into like re-sign your insurance papers. It's like his first day on the job. It's like, oh yeah, let me talk to the manager here.
Yeah. Do you need a coffee? I have one.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, the printer's out of ink.
Yeah, you'd be going like this the whole time. You'd be going like this.
Yeah. If you shuffle those fucking papers one more fucking time.
Yeah, let me.
I am walking out of here, man.
Let me see.
So
awesome.
Definitely a need at 173 here. Ronnie Bell, wide receiver, 6 foot 191. That's nothing
Not
exceptional. 4.5 40.
He was a favorite player of mine at Michigan. He tore his ACL the first play of his junior year. Okay,
That's
so
tough.
he was out for the season. He came back this year, and it just seemed like you know how Michael Gallup played this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how Ronnie played this year. I think he was still concerned about his knee. Okay. Right. Ronnie is gonna get drafted, but he's gonna get drafted as like a role guy, like who is a guy who just went to Houston, Texas?
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. He is Noah Brown.
Oh.
Okay. So, if you get him real late, the last 7th round, 8th round, but I think more people are going to be worried about the knee because before he had the knee injury, I really think Ronnie Brown would have been a first or second round.
Wow.
So you think if he plays his junior year and declares, you think he's going first or second round?
Yes.
So maybe a team possibly takes a flyer on him in the 5th or 6th or 7th and ends up getting a guy rebounding. So
yeah, he's going to be a late round pick just because of the knee. And
right.
then he ran a 4.5 at the combine. They were looking for Ronnie to at least run a 4.4, 4.3, and he had just a 4.5. And he's a little receiver. It says 6 foot, but Ronnie's probably 5'10".
My kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a possession receiver now because he lost his speed with the knee.
it kind of feels like this whole draft is kind of like that for wide receivers, to be honest.
And then I mean, we already talked about our boy Jake Moody.
Yeah, we talked about Jake Moody. The last guy here then is 333 Iyabi Oki.
Sounds like he's an undrafted free agent coming up.
Oki. 6'5", 244 linebacker. Is he better than Mike Morris?
Yes, but this is the problem with Oki, okay? Oki transferred from Georgia. He was probably like top 5 defensive end in the country when he went to Georgia. Then he transferred to Michigan, and Michigan had him situational player. He reminds you of Randy Gregory, okay? He got the bend. He can turn the corner, but then sometimes he can get spacey and make dumbass plays, and it irritated me about it because he should have been starting over Mike Morris, okay? But he couldn't stay on the field just because of brain farts, okay? And you know how Randy Gregory used to frustrate us by jumping off sides all the time and doing things, but then when he showed up and made plays, you're like, man, this is probably one of the best defensive ends in the country. That's Oki. That's him. Okay. If he ever get his head on straight, he's a steal.
What round are you taking him? 6?
6. I got to just because his head.
Hey man, I feel like this is because I like this because there's a few guys that we have taken, and I do like when we get into the mock, which I think we're gonna hit up here pretty quick.
Yep.
Version 8 of the CanFan mock draft. When there's when there is a Michigan Wolverine on the board, I feel like we're gonna have some very good insight, better insight than we've had on any player. So this is exciting.